Welcome to Ednite Technology. I'm going to be introducing you to Scratch programming language. So what is Scratch? Scratch is a computer programming language that enables you to create your own interactive games, animation, music, and art. To get started with Scratch, you actually need to have Scratch installed on your system. So to download Scratch, you need to visit Scratch official website, which is www.scratch.mit.education, which is edu. So you can download Scratch for any operating system that you are using. If you are using a Mac operating system, or if you are using a Windows or a Linux, you can click on this direct download to download the latest version of Scratch. In case your system or your Windows is a little bit backdated, you can download the older version of Scratch. For example, Scratch 1.4. So let's move on to explaining the components of Scratch. As you notice, there are many components of Scratch. The first I'm going to talk about is the sprite. The sprite is a little and graphic character that performs the action in a Scratch program. The default sprite of any Scratch is this image of a cat. A sprite performs all the actions or instructions given to it. So you can get new sprite by clicking on the choose new sprite. When you download Scratch, you have some built-in sprites that you can download, that you can actually use in your project. You access them by clicking on this choose a sprite icon. You can actually upload a sprite from your system. Like in a PNG, or you can choose the file or choose the picture or the image you wish to use as a sprite and use it as a sprite. You can also create your own custom sprite using the tools that are provided. So this right here is called the sprite list. It displays all the sprites that you are using in a particular project or in a particular Scratch project. This is called the costume room. As you can see, this is where we can change the costume of a particular sprite. So we can actually change. Okay, now this is called the stage. This place where you see the Scratch, it's called the stage. The stage is where every action that will be performed by the Scratch is going to take place in the stage. This is where we can view the output of our program. So we can make the stage to actually be in a full mode, where we can view it in a full mode, or we can use the minimized version of it right here. We can change the background of this stage by just clicking on this icon here. This choose backdrop. You can choose some of the built-in backdrop that comes with sprites, that come with Scratch. You can also design your own custom background or upload one from your system. So we haven't talked about the sprite and the stage. We are going to talk about the block palette. So the block palette is this area you're seeing here. It holds the block. Each of this block is a line of instruction. It is a program telling the sprite what to actually do. As you know, a program is just a list of instruction or a step-to-step instruction given to the computer on how to perform a specific task. So each of this block is an instruction on its own. So we can use this block to actually give command to the sprite. And this area that holds the block is called the block palette. So we have what we call a script. A script is made up of two or more blocks. We can add blocks by dragging them. You can see anything I click on, our sprite actually does it. I can tell the sprite to do anything. As you can see, the block can be fixed on one another like a puzzle game or something like that. So we have what we call a script, as I've explained, that a script is a combination of more than one block. We have the script area. The script area is this area where I can actually create my script. So I'm going to show you what each of this block is actually used for. So this block are divided into 9 default categories. We have the motion, the loop, the sound, the event, the control, the sensing, operator, variables, and my block. So we are going to see what we can do with all of them. So first of all, the motion. As you can see, the motion is all about the movement of the sprite. The location of the sprite on the stage, actually, that is what the motion depicts. We can go to anywhere in the stage using the motion blocks. Let's go to the next one, the looks. The looks, this is what it looks like the sprite is actually doing, or what the sprite actually looks like. We can change the costume of a sprite from the look, because the looks is just about how the sprite actually looks. So we have the second one, the sound. This is where we can actually add sound to our sprite program. We have the event. The event, mostly when we write programs, our programs usually listen for a particular event. For example, when you click on a particular button, maybe you're playing a game. The game is to start when you actually click on the start button. So this event controls that. These events are like what to happen for something to happen. So we have this event on when the green flag is clicked. So now whenever the green flag is clicked, all of this will be performed. So now let's click on the green flag. So as you can see, the events just control events. So we have the control. This control is how we can actually control the sprite. Maybe we want it to actually perform a specific action based on a specific condition, or we want it to actually decide on what to do by itself based on still a certain condition. We can ask the sprite to do something forever or to repeat something a specific number of times. We can achieve all of that from the control blocks. So we have the sensing. This sensing is all about the sprite sensibility. From touch to dragging to everything you can actually do to the sprite, it's all in the sensing. We have the operator. We mainly use this thing for when we want to do arithmetic or logic operations. Maybe you want to add two numbers, you want to get the sum of a number or the product of two numbers. You can get blocks for that in the arithmetic block, rather operators block. So we have a variable. You can create new variables with Scratch from the variable block. So for example, I can make a variable, name it anything I want to name it. I can name it number 1, maybe for saving numbers. If you notice, we now have like a panel showing our variable on the stage. So the last but not the least, we have the block. This is where we can define our own default or custom block. We have all these built-in blocks, but we can actually make our own block. Maybe we want to make a block. Let's name it my block. We can write any code, anything we actually want this block to do. So if you notice, we have a block here, a custom block named my block, that I can actually use to do anything that I so wish to do. So we can actually add new blocks or new categories, rather I meant to say new categories. When we click on this, we can add new categories, maybe one that is not there. Maybe we want to actually use like camera sensibility, can actually add it. So we can create new file in our Scratch. From here we can open a file that is in our computer, or we can actually save a file that we are working on. So there are many things that we can create with Scratch, but this is just an introduction video. I just want you to know about Scratch. So join me in my next tutorial where we will talk deeply about what we can actually achieve with Sprite. Thanks for watching.